If you lived through the 90s, you know Shaquille O'Neal was more than just one of the NBA's most dominant players. Seeing him today as a commentator and celebrity, it's easy to forget he made history with his Reebok sneakers, wild TV commercials, and even on the big screen. Who would have thought, right? His sneakers defined an era, and you probably dreamed of owning at least one pair. But do you remember them all? Let's find out. This is where it all began. The Reebok Shaq Attaq, launched in 1992, marked not only Shaq's NBA debut, but also Reebok's entry into signature basketball sneakers with its bold Orlando Magic colorway and powerful design. It matched Shaq's court presence perfectly. But it wasn't just about looks. It was the first basketball shoe to use a carbon fiber shank plate, beating even Nike's Air Jordan 11 to the punch. And of course, it had the legendary pump system for custom fit. Cutting-edge tech for a size 22 foot, the Shaq Attaq was an instant hit. Released in two colorways, it became a must-have for fans watching the rise of a rookie phenom. It wasn't just a shoe. It was a symbol of a new era. And thanks to the nostalgic demand, Reebok brought it back in retro form years later. If you had or wanted this pair, you lived the golden age of sneakers. If you're enjoying revisiting these classic sneakers, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And stay tuned for more videos like this one. After the massive success of the first model, expectations were high for the Shaq Attaq 2. But Reebok took a surprising turn. The look was much more toned down, with a lower cut and no pump system, losing the bold personality that made the original so iconic. Even with its carbon plate and decent support, the shoe felt too generic for someone like Shaq, and fans noticed. Shaq wore the model only briefly during the 93 to 94 season, before moving on to new prototypes. Today, the Attaq 2 is more of a sneaker curiosity, remembered not for greatness, but as a detour in the Shaq signature line. Still, it's part of the story, and a subtle reminder of the era's evolution. In 1994, Reebok went bold again with the Shaq Attaq 3, and bold it was. This model introduced the Insta-Pump system, an upgraded version of the original pump instead of a built-in pump. It came with CO2 cartridges and a literal air gun for instant inflation. Wild, right? It wasn't very practical, but it showed Reebok's tech ambition. The design brought back a high-cut silhouette and introduced hexalite cushioning for the first time in Shaq's line. This was also the shoe Shaq wore while leading the U.S. to gold at the 1994 FIBA World Championship, starring for the Dream Team 2. Despite the glory, the Attaq 3 was released in limited numbers and never got a wide retro release. Today, it's a rare gem for collectors and a standout from Reebok's most experimental phase. In 1995, Shaq reached the NBA Finals for the first time, and on his feet was the Shaq Attaq 4. This model took high top to the extreme, looking almost like a boot, with a Velcro strap for lockdown support. If Shaq was a tank, this shoe was built to match. It kept the hexalite cushioning and reintroduced the pump, now in a more practical manual form embedded in the shoe. The Attaq 4 became iconic just for being Shaq's final shoe, worn against the Houston Rockets. And even though Orlando fell short, the shoe was immortalized in photos and highlight reels. Fun fact, the tongue had D and E on it, a nod to Shaq's Diesel nickname. With retro re-releases and lasting fan appeal, the Attaq 4 remains one of the most beloved sneakers in his line. This one needs no introduction. The Reebok Shaqnosis is arguably the most famous shoe tied to Shaq, and definitely one of the boldest from the 90s. The hypnotic black and white spiral design made a statement. Love it or hate it, you couldn't ignore it. Under the flashy surface, the shoe delivered solid tech, with hexalite cushioning and DMX air chambers for comfort and bounce. Shaq rocked the Shaqnosis in his final season with the Magic, and it got a primetime commercial during the 1996 Super Bowl, which even took a playful jab at teammate Penny Hardaway. To top it off, it appeared in the movie Men in Black, 1997, cementing its pop culture status. Its retro comeback in 2013 was a hit, making the Shaqnosis a true icon of the decade. Right before leaving Orlando, Reebok dropped one last Magic-era sneaker, the Preacher. And this thing was a tank. Built with Clarino synthetic leather and thick overlays, it looked and felt like serious armor. With hexalite units in the heel and forefoot, it was designed to absorb every bit of Shaq's punishing power in the paint. Only 2 colorways were released, including a translucent icy sole edition that became a collector's favorite. Some say Shaq even wore it during the 1996 Olympics with Team USA. Either way, it was the final shoe of his Magic chapter, a farewell pair that's often overlooked, but deserves a place in sneaker history. Shaq's arrival in LA called for a fresh start. Enter the Reebok Shaq Dunk Mob, his first Lakers-era signature. The name said it all. Dunk Mob, a nod to Shaq's wrecking ball dunking style. Technically, it evolved from the Preacher, with a sleeker design and a lighter upper while keeping the dependable hexalite cushioning. Shaq wore the Dunk Mob throughout the 1996-97 season, alongside a young rookie named Kobe Bryant. Though it didn't hit mainstream culture like earlier models, it marked a pivotal transition and remains a nostalgic favorite for sneakerheads who love the underappreciated gems. The name says it all. The Shaq Reflection was a moment of reflection. Released during Shaq's second season with the Lakers, it had a more understated design. For once, this was a Shaq shoe regular folks could wear off-court. But don't worry, his game version was still a high-top beast, with max ankle support. This model featured 3M reflective details that popped under lights, and came with lightweight hexalite suspension and Seamiva midsoles for comfort and stability. It was the shoe Shaq wore during a strong playoff run in '98. But off the court, things were shifting. Shaq soon left Reebok. Frustrated by the price of his shoes, the Reflection became the final chapter in a legendary sneaker run. This one's a wild card. The Shaq Steel was inspired by the 1997 film Steel, where Shaq played a superhero in a metal suit. Reebok built the shoe around that idea. Metallic colors, armor-like design, and movie tie-ins. It was supposed to be his next big signature. But here's the twist. Shaq never wore it in an NBA game. By the time the 1998 to 1999 season started, he had already parted ways with Reebok. The shoe released in small numbers and faded without its star. Today, it's a collector's rarity, a quirky relic from a time when Shaq was a baller, actor, and superhero all rolled into one. So, which one of Shaq's sneakers was your favorite? Drop it in the comments. And don't miss our next video. 9 iconic Kobe Bryant Adidas sneakers from the 90s before the Nike era. It's a must-watch.